Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Gio from Smart Home Makers, and today we're going to be talking about smart locks. I'm making this video because it took me over 2 years to make up my own mind on actually getting a smart lock. In this video, we're going to cover why you should consider getting one at all, what are the differences between normal keys and smart locks, what are the benefits of smart locks and how they actually work. Let's roll the intro. What is wrong with using traditional keys? We've been using them for decades and they're just simple and just natural, and that's the way we've always been doing them. And I was asking this question and I was thinking, do I really need a smart lock? But now that I've actually got one and I've installed it and I've been using it for quite a while, I'm actually getting the point of them, and let me tell you why. These are my thoughts around traditional keys and their actual weakness. Obviously not really technological, they're a mechanical object. So we have a single point of failure. So if I actually lose my key or misplace it, no one can actually get in the house. I can't get in the house anymore and I'm literally locked out. Second thing that actually sometimes concerns me is when I leave the home, have I actually locked the house or not, right? You can't really check. You have no way to have an app or anything linked to it. So you either think you've locked it or you just hope you've locked it. So you might just hope for the best. With that, it also comes that you can't remotely unlock. So if you had someone, a guest coming over, a family member or a dog sitter or a babysitter, you can't actually unlock the door remotely unless you give them a copy of your keys. Now, once you give them a copy of your keys, they could make n number of copies of that key and they could give you the key that you gave them, but they could have n number of keys of your home. And that could be a big vulnerability, right? And they could gain entrance whenever they wanted, even if they give you the key back. So another consideration, if you actually just lose that key, if you just lose it, normally what I always done is just change the lock. So you're gonna have to call the locksmith, change the lock. Even if you have a spare key somewhere or someone's at home to open the door for you, you're still worried that maybe wherever you've lost the key, someone's followed you home and they're able to gain access. So these are the actual things that the downsides of traditional keys. Let's also now talk about actually smart locks and what is actually different with them. Smart locks in general in the market are mechanical objects. So what they do, they simulate the movement of the key and they mechanically unlock or mechanically lock the key. So you've got quite a lot of options here. As you can see, we have things from smartphones, smartwatches, key fobs, keypads, fingerprint readers. There's automations, voice control. There's so many ways that you could potentially unlock or lock your door. Now, all of these are separate devices and all of these have their pros and cons and all of them have their own security concerns. So smart locks inherently are more complex to get around than a simple key, because a simple key is we all know how to operate them. So let me just briefly give you an overview of actually what is the point with smart locks. Apart from the problems that we talked about with the traditional keys, let's talk about the inherent benefits of having a smart lock. You can give temporary access to someone. Now, this is a key one. Key is temporary. And why would you want to do this? So someone's coming in, a cleaner's coming in, you can give them access for a certain time of the day, you can revoke that access, you can change a PIN. And normally this happens via a PIN code, which you control. You also know if they've actually come in and what time. To have a log of actually who's opened the doors, who's unlocked the door, and who's locked the door. So if you're naming things properly, like your key fobs and your card readers or whatever you've got, then you can actually figure that out. The scenario of you actually being locked out reduces a lot. So if you have several options like a smartphone, a smartwatch, home automation, key fobs, a keypad. Some of these locks have keypads on them, which means you'll never be locked out of your home. I bet that you once were locked out of your home. If that actually did happen, then leave a comment down below and tell us the story of how you actually got back in your home. Locking and unlocking from a distance is very similar to giving temporary access, but this time you don't need to give access in advance. It could be an impromptu. So for example, if you were giving keys out before someone was coming and that was planned, that was fine. But if you had an emergency, you had someone had to go back to your home, you can unlock the door and give them access. And last one, automations. So as you know, I'm Smart Home Makers and I love doing automations. And if you want to see 5 automations with smart locks, then remember to like this video and also subscribe to the channel as soon as those drop. I've got quite a few planned I'm gonna think of which actually 5 I'm gonna put in the video. If you have any suggestions, you can comment down below. Now let me touch on how this actually works. Now the particular model that I have has 2 options. I use my mobile phone and I can, with Bluetooth, connect to the smart lock, and I can actually unlock and I can lock it. But that means I need to be in a certain range. I need to be in like a few meters of range. That also means that no one can unlock it from the cloud, or no one can gain access to my house from a distance, and neither can I. So it sort of takes away some of the benefits of actually having a smart lock. But there's a component called a bridge, which you can see over here, which represents a cloud on the internet. And with that, my phone is able to connect through that back to the smart lock. And this happens also via Wi-Fi. So your smart lock connects to Wi-Fi. Now this is just one example of how the actual connection works, but you can have other protocols like Zigbee, Z-Wave that can actually simulate the same thing. Now the importance here is to look at the security and the encryption that your smart lock provider is actually going to give you as part of this whole thing. Now I did some research about security here, and it seems that the biggest vulnerability actually happens at the moment of pairing the device, and these are 7 devices. So unless you have someone in the moment that you're pairing the device that's literally there and can hack your device, then they potentially could get entry. But don't quote me on this at the moment. I will be doing more research about how safe smart locks are. In terms of what you can get in the market, there are really 2 big distinctions. There are quite a lot of models of smart locks, and this video is not really specific talking about which models of smart lock are the best. But just to give you an idea, I've got 2 here on the screen. I have the Nuki and I have a Yale version. Now these 2 are slightly different. Well, they're quite different. Why? Because one uses exactly the same lock you have. So it leverages your existing lock and it uses a key. And the one on the right is actually a Yale, and this is a complete new cylinder lock, whatever you call it. So it takes a little bit more time in terms of the DIY. It comes in as one package, but it just gives you an idea. Those are the options, and these come out around about £180, 200 euros, $220. So that's sort of the price range for a smart lock. If you're interested in smart locks, you can click on this next video where you can see me install the Nuki 2.0 smart lock with Home Assistant, and over here 5 automations with smart locks. If you can't see these videos at the moment, these means they haven't been released. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss them. And in the meantime, you've got a YouTube recommended video. This was Gio from Smart Home Makers. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. This is actually the first time I'm leaving the house without my keys. I hope either this phone or this watch actually works well. We will see later.